Good evening, everybody. I hope you're all doing well. So let me share my screen and we'll continue from tomorrow where we left. Actually, I identified the reason my code wasn't working because my port was already in use in some other project. So today we'll use some internal extension to run our code. So okay. So let us start by building our folder. Just go there. We'll build a folder. Express practice. Now, if we now we are going to open this in our terminal, right? So we have downloaded. We need to again the steps will be same. We need to initiate our node here. So npm init y package.json we got. Then we'll install our Express. So our module will look like this, and we'll create a file named server.js, and let's just initiate git ignore also so that we will remember it afterwards. Node modules inside git ignore. So from remember, the code will remain the same. We start by importing our module. We'll say express to require express. Then we'll create an application using Express, right? And we'll initiate a port using port 3000 only, because either we'll use it 3001 if it won't run. So app dot firstly we need to get our, and we need to initiate a function. Function will be respond, firstly will be requested and respond, and so this is a get function, so this will say rest.send hello from Express. And then we need to also start our server. So app.listen port, and the function will be console.log. We'll say our server is running at port to right. So let's start node server.js. So our port is running at 3000. So let us write here http localhost 3000. So hello from Express, we got it here. So that's how we write our code, and each of these meanings, I guess these are clear to you. What app is doing, how what is an app? The app is an application that Express is calling itself, and it's important to initiate this. This is the heart of the system, and without it, you won't be able to create. You need to write express here, express here again and again. You need to call express so that we will call express inside a variable only, right? So I told you yesterday also we have the methods, I guess, get, post, put, delete, but methods they were used. And let us stop the server and um, add routes. Right? We'll add some demo routes to show you how our work. So Control C, the server has been stopped, and we'll start writing something. So let us make a route for our Notes app. We will create a Notes app. So, to enable every route, we need to create middlewares also, right? And we cleared what are middlewares. I'll show you how we write the code for middlewares. But when we need to call middlewares, we'll write this. I'll tell you what this after when we'll covering the coding part for the middlewares. So this is how app use express in JSON, right? So let's fetch something. To fetch something, we use get. We fetch data using get. Okay. So app dot get. Let's say we have a notes. We again use function rec res and will respond in JSON, and our message will be get all notes. And let's say our method is get, right? Or we'll just say request dot which method we are using. Okay. So let us install a extension, and the extension is called Thunderkind. So it's like our API testing tool also, we can say. So you can say REST, lightweight REST API client for code. So we use this just for the testing basis. So you see, so now still our port is not running. So we'll again save the file. We'll say node server.js. Our server is running, right? So you can see, but we have a nodes here. So let me make a new request, and the request will say http local host slash 3000. So this will give us the first function, right? Hello from Express. And to get, so see here we can change the methods, and from here we can change the body. We want what we want inside our body. This will be used when we will be putting something, posting something, right? So let's say we call notes, we'll send. So get all notes, and the method will be get. So from here you can see from our code we have written our message will be get all nodes, and this is a JSON format, so that's why it is showing in a JSON format file. So you can see our status codes. Status code is 200. Okay, that this is successful, and response will be shown here. Response is here. We have headers here. We have headers powered by application. These are few things which we will cover in API part, or yes, things are you need to know, right? So let us use put now. So sorry, so post now. When we want to create something, we use post. Okay. So again we'll say app dot method name post, and we will say notes, and function regress in respond in JSON, and we'll say let me copy this. This will remain somewhat same. So we'll say post notes, and now we don't want a method here, we want a body here. So the body will say request body. Okay, so let me load it again. Our server is running, and we will go to new request. We'll change the method. The method is post, and see, not found. Okay, the body we haven't write anything. We'll say need to put something, right? So we'll say message is hello, and we'll say body now. If we send this, so it is returning a body, but we haven't. We need to have a return type here. So okay, I don't need to add this as this. We'll say this is the content here. Okay, and then we will load this happening here. So instead of okay, right, we need to write here also. We need to write here add request query parameter body. Needs to run. Message is no okay. Message is not valid. We will write here and title. Let's say it's a title. Title is not happening. Let me restart our server again. Server. No. And then no idea. Wait. Once. Let me make a new request from here to get post. I'll copy this. Copy notes. I'll see if get is working. Get is working. The message is clear. We need to post something. We need to use post. We go to body and body as JSON. We'll see this. Say title is my first code. Say we'll say this bad string body to body. Uh, to run. Why it's not running? Let's just see. What is the issue here? See, the issue will this needs to run it like this only. There is okay. I guess this is inside the code we need to use. I made a mistake here. Okay. So before that, our route we had to mark a forward slash. That's why it was causing an error. We'll run our server again and test it out. Dot server. We'll make a request here. We'll make a new request. This request. We'll say HTTP nodes here. We'll close all this. We have nodes, function post, request.body. Let's call this out. And server is running. We'll make a new request. We'll copy this. We'll say this. Nodes is running. We are getting all nodes. Method is get post body again. Title. First title. Body. Okay, not let's see anything that's typing. I guess this will again add. And why it's a bad string. Okay, all right. So single quotes won't work here. Okay, we get our message. We need to entitle them inside double quotes. I guess this is the issue from underkind, right? Then let's move to next request, which will be our post request, right? So let's see. We need to replace something. We need to replace something. Then we use put, right? We need to replace something. So let's say app.put, and we will again just write notes, and then we need to give an ID that where do we want to change something. So that needs to be justified by ID. Before ID, we will write please double quote, so that you know that this will be a value inside an ID. And again, we put it function say requests, and now we need to respond in JSON. We'll say what our message will be catch, or let's say so we put, and again we will give an ID which will be request dot, and from ID we need to get the ID from parameters, right? Parameters, and what we want an ID. So let's run it again. We need to restart the server. Let me restart our server again. Okay. Wait. Okay. Let me restart server. Again, we need to. I guess this won't work because we don't have an ID right now. But still, let me give you a real example. When we'll be making a notes app, then we will understand what the things are there. Request and response parameters are clear to you. I guess yesterday we cleared that thing out. We have middlewares left to be coded. So let me just tell you what how we write middlewares. So let us build a middleware first. So this middleware will be used when we solely middleware can't work. It needs some request, and I'll just clear out the format we use to make a middleware. So our three things are clear from here, right? And I told you, like, we need to parse a JSON request body, and without this, that the request dot body that we write, request dot body can't be used because we need to fetch something from body, right? The content we have, the all the data we have is inside a body. So that's from where we write. And like we also we can write like we need this. Let's say this is our middleware one. And but if we want to parse a URL encoded data from URL encoded data, like from HTML forms that we submit something, we have their type URL encoded, right? So what if we want to fetch that? Then we use you can mark these things. It'll pair two, and then you need to parse URL encoded data. Then we use app.use express URL encoded, and is a extended true. I guess it's been extends true. Um, it needs to be inside curly braces. Extended is the command. Yeah, extended, not extends. And what if we want to fetch something? We need to take something from a static file, like static files. We need to take from our um, folders, our public folders. Like we need to get something, right? And let's say middle three, it will do. So static files like images from public folder. So that how we write it. And again, app.use, we have express, and beside we need static doc folders from where the public. Uh, let's say how we get all this thing. We use app.listen. We have already app.listen. I've written this one, and app.get first. and say, let's say, mark this thing test, and again function um, rec rest.json. We need body to rest body. If you don't want to write this function, you can actually avoid writing it. You can, this will be use arrow functions here also. This is also right. So let me start our server again, and if we write here, and if we get and say test, then we get from our body we are getting our first title. So whatever we put inside the whichever we posted, so that is reflected here, and we can delete it using delete. So we can also use, these are some built-in middlewares, right? We can also make middleware so far on. For example, we can make a which will log our uh, data. So let's say, let it be, let them here. Okay, I'll remove them. Better to, okay. So again, we can use app.use, app.use. Then we need to make a new middleware. So function is a rec res, and you can also use arrows here, arrow function here. Let's say we need a const time. Let's say this will be our new date, and how we do it to local dates time string, local time string we want, and then we'll call our method first dot method what we were using. This all information will be provided from here. We'll say what URL we are using, and again request URL. So this all is coming from this part used from Express.json, and we can console dot log whatever time we are on. So I'll show you later on how we are going to use it inside our code. I'll show you a mini project. Here, then we can write another thing. We can call our method also, and then it's important that we write next. So when we write next, it stops our request here only, uh, that our function will know that this is used till here only. So let me cancel this one out. I'll make it a comment till now, and you can also do error handling in middlewares. You can use middlewares to do error handling. So that I'll show you inside the code only. So there's no point without the code to run all this. So let me create a new folder, right, for your project. Let's say we are making a new node API. Let's open it here only so that we again copy our code. The method will be same. We'll open terminal. We'll say npm init y. And we say npm install Express. We have these. Then we'll say dot git ignore node modules. So you know what a nodes app will do. A nodes app will right now we are not saving anything. So this is again I'll tell you this is a static kind of project, but it's a milestone. So when we're going to use database, so the all our data will get saved in local storage only, or we are I'll show you in MySQL first, then we'll move to Mongo, or we just move to Mongo if whatever time allows. So we'll make a new file called index.js, and again we'll write. I won't write the code. I'll copy it from here only. So yeah, this is how we do it, and our custom logger will be used here. This will log at what time we are using. So for now, we don't have any data, right? So we need to make a database for only for this project. We'll create a sample database, like whatever we put in our server will start, and these things will be fetched from here. We'll say this will be our body in terms, we can say, our data. So let's say we have some nodes, and again in JSON format, it will have an ID of, let's say we are buy groceries. We'll say what groceries we need to buy. We say we need to buy milk, eggs, butter, or bread, right? And then we can also uh, for body, let's say one more thing. We have a title here. I have ID needs to be numeric, right? We have a title here by groceries. So we have our say time, or which at what time it created at. Let's say so. To use this, we will say new dot date, and we'll convert that function into our string ISO. Babe, it was a two ISO string, I guess. Two ISO string. It's not working. string. New date. New. Okay. So new date. Okay. So we have one ID here, one note here, and then we need to create a new another note. I'll copy this one only, and I'll give it an ID of 2, and we'll say need practice extras. I will say let's I am practicing in Notes app. Okay. Then last, let's work with these two only, and if we want to generate more, we just write like we have another let next id equals to 3. Like, why we are writing this, like this will be a counter for generating our IDs, right? When node 1 and 2 will exist, it's obviously that if we add something, the next node will be 3, and again it will be 4. So it just will get converted, like every time we create a node, we need to use an incremental. Then this ID will later be used in our database, so that it will generate automatically. So that for now we don't have any database, so we need to write this manually. So let's create some routes first. Let's create our route. Create our routes. So first route will be getting the nodes. So app dot get. What we need at our, we have our nodes, and I'll call an arrow function here. Rect rest dot. The status, what is the status so far? It's if it's true, we'll say JSON. And our JSON will be in curly braces. We will write success 200. Oh, sorry, success is true, and we can count to nodes. We can count the value, how many nodes we have now. Length, we can say what data we have inside our nodes. We'll say nodes. Okay, so let us test this thing now. We will say node index.js. It's running. So it's running on our port. And we will use this. Okay, so see, and not get nodes. Why so? The server close actually. Why it is closing? Will, let's make our port to 301 then. One nodes. Wait. Oh, sorry. We can try and change here. 301. Again, we need to write. So our port is running 30. This is conflicting because it's already our 3000 code is already occupied by this. So let me again request HTTP localhost 3001 nodes. Inside the, maybe this is the issue. Like is creating this issue. I don't got this issue. Simple Windows. Let's change now. Let's stop this. So our code is running at port 301. Make a new request. Let's HTTP port nodes. Next is node defined. Okay. we can't, let's not use this because we haven't used our error handling till now. We'll keep it. Um, so yeah, what is running here? We'll request. We need a port. P notes. Port. Yeah. So see, we have buy our groceries. We got it. And what if we want to get only one node? We need an ID, right? We need to specify an ID for that. So we need to make a new router to get a single node. So we say app dot get, then our route will change nodes slash ID, node ID. And again we'll say rec res arrow function. Now we need to convert a string into number, right? So we need to use request dot params. So as it is a string right now, we need to create it to number. So we'll say ID equals to parseInt parse int. Then we need to say request parameters port ID, and if our ID matches, then we need to return our ID, right? So that's how post node equals to nodes. From nodes, we need to find our function n, and then we need to return our n dot id, and will be our nodes. So will be return only if it's equal to the id is if mentioned. If id is not found, suppose we don't we are searching at id 3, so it has not been created yet. So we need to throw something like we can't find something, and when we throw this error we usually write with 404, right? So if not a note, if it's not a note, then what it needs to do, it needs to return res response of status code 404 dot listen. We'll just say uh, success is false, like we have true here. Message note with ID. Let's say in this thing in notes with ID, and we'll get the ID note found. And we and what if found? What if it's found? Then we need to return something, right? We'll say response dot status code we need to give will be the 200 that everything is successful, and we'll say listen success equals to true, and data, we'll say note, whatever inside our note. So let me restart our server again. So this, and let's make a request here only. We need to get the nodes of ID1. See, the status code is okay there, and the body will return whatever we have inside our node. So what if we write 3 here? The node of 3 doesn't exist yet. So as you can see here, we returned our status code of 404 and it says the node with this ID can't be found. So this is what happened here. I hope this is clear to you till now. So how we will make a new node? Uh, let's say create a new node. So I told you like we use app.post here. We'll say nodes and again check res and we need to request data. We need to extract that data, right? Whatever is inside the node. So we need something from our nodes. So if we want something from our nodes and nodes from the nodes, I mean whatever we have inside our body. So we'll request our body. So we'll say const. Let's say we need what we need to return. We have two things here. I want to return a title and body only, right? We don't want so let's see an example. Like if you are on the client side and you are visiting a website and you forget your password, it won't return your ID, right? The ID is in the backend. We don't want to return an ID. So what we want, we just need title and body here, in which request from body. And again, we need some if condition, we say throw an error, and if everything is clear, if it's not the title, or how we write or like this, and it's I write out title. If it's not our body, we need to return a status code of 404. Return status, sorry, respond status as 404, and in JSON again success will be false and message will be both title and body are required, right? So how now if we know that these things are not yet taken empty, then we need to build node, create a new object. We'll create a new node, and to create a new node we need to get an id will be the counter uh, that we created, the next id. So id will be next id, and our title will be title, whatever the person has given. Body will be body, and we will need to create it at the time new, that will same new date and to ISO string. Right. So let's test it out. And Sorry, we were testing it out. We will create some more error handling. We'll do some more error handling here. Hmm. So if our nodes next ID value is 3, so I told you like we if it's 3, it need to be incremented from here, right? So we'll increment our body. We'll say next ID plus equals to next ID, or you can say next ID is equals to next ID, ne- next ID plus 1. And till now this thing is not pushed into our value array. So if we want to get something at the end of the array, an object, then we use a method called push, right? Nodes dot push, we'll say node. And if some everything goes right, we need to say we need to give some status code to it. We'll just say response dot status will be 200, and JSON, and success is true, and our data is now new data, new node. Okay, so let's test it out. We'll say we'll run our code again and make a new request. We can make a request, and okay, we won't do this. We'll say nodes. It cannot handle data request body is undefined. Why it is throwing an error? Oh, okay. We haven't given anything yet. Okay, we'll write inside our body. We will say title is equals to this third note. Say third note, and say body is equals to uh, this is my third note. Okay, we need to end it. Then let's see. Our third note is here. So what if we get now? What if we want to get? See, we have ID 1, 2, 3, and we also counted our entries. So that's how we can create as much as notes we want to do. And what if we want to get only third node? We'll use this, and third node is this, and created at 26 hours. So what two important ones are done, and let's see how we delete a note. This one is simpler than creating a note actually. So how we do it? We'll say app dot delete, and again we need to note, and we need an ID, right? We need to delete from an ID only. Need to- Then again rec res comma will be here. So now we need to know where. So you just take an idea that this is an object. This is an array object. So in simpler terms, when we use array, we have value and its index, right? So if we want to delete something from an array, we write its uh, index, right? We need to know what from which index we want to delete something. So it's the same case that we need to create an object inside an array. we'll say what is the index of that function. So nodes dot find index, right? And create a function from n will be our variable, and return if it's inside our if this exists, like this index exists till now, then we say n dot id exist. And what if it doesn't exist? Like if index is not, like we can say either it will be minus of infinity or let's say -1, so it starts from 0, right? So if it doesn't exist, we will return again a status code. Let's return a status status code of 404, and we'll say in our JSON we'll say success is false, and our message will be node with id id not found. And uh, we have handled this request, and we now this let's assume this is the right situation, like this the index is there, right? So what we are going to do, we are going to splice that index and remove the index from that position only. Okay, so we'll say nodes dot splice index from 1 and response dot status index this will be 200 dot listen. Our success will be true, and we'll return a message. Okay, simple message, not deleted successfully. So how we are going to delete? Let's see. We are going to delete third node now, the one we wrote. So we have third node, we'll get it. Second node, we'll say this. We have third node, we'll say this. No, not found. Okay. Oh, now let's see. Nodes. So this is here. Third node is here. Again, if it started like it is started again, we haven't upload. We don't have any database like to store anything, so we just made it here, and we'll say nodes delete from which id is 1. So id is not defined. id is not defined. Maybe in the code we have done something. id request. Find index of function and return something. We have an index 0. If respond this, respond this with 404, we have this and we have success. False, success is true. Not deleted successfully. But we want to delete nodes from 2. Not available. Why is this happening? Let's ask. We'll know. Yeah, we need to take. We did it earlier also. Let's say undo. Okay. Yeah, we need to pass convert that ID into a from string to a number. That's what happened. If we forgot this. Like this, we need it whenever we are parsing any ID. It's initially from this. It's a string, and when we need to convert it into a. I forgot to do that. Let me run the code again. I'll say not delete. It's not okay. So note is deleted successfully. And what if we want to get our all nodes? Only one node exists from because third node we haven't created it yet. And what if we write nodes 2? We want this node 2. So node 2 with can't be there. And let's see error handling. What we wanted to do. So this will be a middleware. So error handling. So what if our all roots are not found? Like we don't have any roots now. So we'll say app dot use function rec res response in status 404. There will won't be any root. Like we are using if we use put or path or something else rather than this. Or we change the string. It is displaying inside Thunder, but in reality, in the website, they don't know it our status codes yet. So we need to define our status codes for those also. So again, the success will be false because because let's use this because we need to define what route we are using. So route we how to find a route request dot method and on which URL we are using. We'll say on quest dot URL does not exist. Okay. And what if there will be a global error or a unhandled like internal server error? We can say that there is an issue with the internal server. There is not issue from your end or your entry. We need to define there's an issue from the server only. So we call that internal server error, and the status code is 500 for that. Let's start app again, app.use. We will call a function. It's all the game about this thing, what we want to request and what we want to response. So again, let's use this middleware now. So we created this, right? So there, this is used for logging the data. So let's write it here. We will say let's call next also here, and see console dot log. We need to log what error or what time the thing is our code is running. We'll say this is unhandled error, and the error dot message, and response dot status will be 500 dot JSON. Success will be false. Okay. Message, we need to give a message that internal server error. And let's see how this code works. Mhm. Let's get the notes. But error next is not defined. But we did define next here. To define next. Mm, mm, Wait, I guess, yeah, we need to define from here also. Start our server, let me say, okay. So you see, the log is what the logging logger middleware we built. From here, you can see that at this time we got this, and you can even confirm it from the code itself that we are getting two things like time method. I can write URL here, URL is not defined. Okay. So our project, the simple Express project, it is a simple Express project. So let's um, put it on our GitHub. So let's do that. We'll cancel this. We'll say git init, say git add, git commit. The message will be there. Add nodes API project with the help of Express. Create it. Right. So we committed something. Now we need to go to our GitHub. Let's see. I'll go to my repositories and I'll say create repository. And say nodes API. And again from here we got these lines here. I'll copy these and I'll paste it here. So Now you can see I'll have my project there, and I'll share that link with you for your references. You can see how the code is working. I'll share in the WhatsApp group as well. Any questions from the project you can ask. Okay, so for now we are done with our Express part, and we'll be moving to, like, tomorrow is Friday, right? So Friday we'll be moving to our EJS part and little bit of the API, and based on that, on Saturday I'll take an early class, like, and then we will build our first minor project. I'll tell you what the project will be after the EJS. So we'll start it tomorrow. Until then, if there's any question, you can stay. Otherwise, you can leave the class.